Today, when you're kickstarting a remake of a classic game, make sure it's actually a classic. This is CheckPoint.
Hi, and welcome to CheckPoint, and we're 20 minutes late today to bring you 20 minutes more worth of quality.
We can't make that promise.
Then we're 20 minutes late because we were screwing around.
That you don't get to do intros anymore. The developers at TikTok Games have just experienced every crowdfunder's worst fear, a failed Kickstarter. Their campaign for an HD remake of 1999 game Outcast only raised $250,000 of their $600,000 goal because before they ran out of time. But really, even $250,000 is pretty darn impressive for a game that, frankly, has minimal nostalgia value, was a commercial failure, and features a main character named Cutter Slade who looks like John Cena stole Geordie's visor. TikTok believes the main reason the campaign failed is that they didn't show enough of the new graphics and spent too much time going, like this terrible thing, but better. However, when you take into account that TikTok are the developers of the original Outcast, I think it might just be that not as many people are into their weird baby as they are.
As your throbbing sexual organs have no doubt already told you, there's a new Civilization game coming, and Firaxis is starting to reveal the first details about Beyond Earth. According to lead designer Anton Strenger, in the new game, the Earth won't be in a super great state because of what the developers are calling the Great Mistake, a series of events that will be vaguely alluded to, leaving players to fill in the gaps with their imaginations. Whether that means a planet reeling in the wake of total ecological collapse, or just the incredibly disastrous butterfly effect that occurred after you failed to interpret social signals correctly and went in for a super awkward hug with a casual acquaintance, is up to you.
As of last week, the Steam Greenlight game Towns can add the prefix Ghost to its name after being abandoned for the second time this year. In 2012, Towns was one of the first games given the green light on Steam and was even put up for sale through a proto-early access system where it made $2 million, selling over 200,000 copies. Despite the promise of future updates, developer Xavi Canal said that he was burned out on completing the game and handed the reins over to a replacement with the amazing name Florian Frankenberger. But Frankenberger only agreed to work on Towns for a cut of ongoing profits, and the game isn't really going to sell that well when the creator says he's done with it and may never finish it. So now, Mr. Frankenberger has left the game as well. If you're one of the 200,000 people that bought the game that won't be finished, worry not. Canal and Frankenberger are considering cutting their losses on Towns and bundling all the great features they wanted to add into a sequel, Towns 2. Because it's not easier or better than adding those features to the game people already own, but you can charge them for it again.
A little while ago, the Danish Geodata Agency made a one-to-one scale model of the entire country in Minecraft because they were awesome. They also turned off Dynamite because they're not stupid. Unfortunately, some visitors found out that while Dynamite didn't work on the map, carts filled with it did. Shortly after that discovery, sizable portions of Minecraft Denmark were quickly replaced with large craters sporting American flags, tanks, and graffiti. Now, lots of people were quick to blame America, but others pointed out that the trolls responsible could also have just been pretending to be American because America, lol, right? Only one thing is certain at this point. Those guys are buttholes.
The Zurich University of Arts has swooped into the virtual gaming space with Birdly, the Oculus Rift accessory that lets you fly around like a bird. Featuring a fan to simulate the wind on your face, scented mists for the olfactory experience, and a wing flapping rig that looks kind of like a torture device, the Birdly actually looks kind of cool, and worst case scenario, you can probably use it as some kind of weird sex thing.
Wow. I hadn't seen that before, and it's pretty weird, but I don't know how you're supposed to use that as a sex thing.
I don't know either, but in the University of Zurich, I'm sure they can figure it out.
Do not fund that research. Coming up, Insomniac's new game Sunset Overdrive looks like a combination of Ratchet & Clank and Jet Set Radio and Gears of War, which sounds amazing and like a surprisingly accurate descriptor of the best date I ever went on.